Okay, so welcome to another episode of JMarketing's Business Life Hacks podcast. This week we have world-class designer Nikolai here with us today. We're going to be talking a bit about um, obviously web design, but specifically how we can sort of guide the user through the page, what they call user flow, through different design. So, Nick, can you give us like a brief update of like what user flow through a web page is and how you like keep that in mind when you're designing a page?
Hey, Alex. Yeah, sure. Well, this topic is very, for a designer, I have too much to say, so I'm not sure if I'm going to structure it the right way. Uh, but yeah, usually we in JMarketing, when we create strategy, we use nine friction, but they're just one part of the whole process because we're focused and our goal is to, let's say, if we follow the nine frictions, this is just one step. This is all the copy we have, all of the stuff we need for the user to have the perfect amount of information on the web page. But now the biggest challenge is for us to actually place it on a live website. So it needs to be visible. We need to, as you said, guide the users what we want to be like hierarchy wise, what we want them to see first, second, how we guide them through the page, desktop, mobile, tablet. So there's like infinite amount of scenarios, infinite amount of users, and then we just need to find the perfect balance. And there are rules, there are laws. I mean, usually what I like to do is follow, let's say I have my own process, which is not fixed for every project, but most of the stuff, most of the mistakes I ever made in my career, I learned, then I was reading, then I was reading, then you do some research, and then you realize there is certain set of rules that you like to follow, at least the mistakes you don't want to make. So let's say we created perfect content, you sent it to me in a document, or we created a wireframe, and then we want to go and put it in the design phase. And if we don't consider some basic stuff like user attention or actually how much time is user going to spend on our page, business owners make those mistakes, as you're aware, probably even more than I am. Our clients, they think everything is important because actually everything is important to them. But for the users, that we're making the website for their clients, for their users, not for them. So I guess this is the biggest problem for us to find the balance between like, let's put everything we need, like 50 sentences, like bunch of text. So yeah, and then like the basic stuff, like how when the user opens page, like they view the page in, okay, it's going to be probably backwards, like F shape, and then why we put big headlines, like you always use H1.
So, I think one thing it's important to talk about, um, a lot of, well, business owners, like you mentioned, and even a lot of like designers or copywriters, they'll either focus on just like putting all the information on the page, or they're focused on trying to, make the page look beautiful, but they won't actually think about the user journey, like guiding the user through the page to the point where you get to like the CTA module when you try to get them to sign up for whatever, sign up for an appointment or purchase something. So that's like one of the most important things we do at J Marketing with our design is we think about how to like guide the user to taking the action, buying something, setting an appointment that we want to do. And of course, we do that through making sure not just the copy, but also the way the design is laid out addresses like the nine frictions users have that will keep them from buying something or setting an appointment. So yeah, our design, as you were saying, it's a lot more than like obviously it looks beautiful and has all the the solutions that users need, but it's really based on consumer psychology, and the end goal is not to look pretty, but to get people to take the book an appointment, buy something, etc. So, like when you're designing a web page, how do you think about like the user's mind, like their psychology, like how they're thinking about like what friction they might be having. Like, okay, at this point, when they're at this point in the page, they're probably wondering about like whether the product performs really well. So I should have a really prominent like module that really stands out that shows how the product performs well. So I guess I was just wondering, how
Yeah.
do you think about like consumer psychology in your design?
Okay. Well, to be honest, when we work together, uh, we are a small team, but we usually work together, all of us, on every project. So when the copy is done, I know a couple of you guys were there, and I already trust that what I get is good. So first of all, I'm gonna lay down on the page, then I'm gonna give my feedback and my impact. But there are certain things that matter, like structure of each module. Like first, you start from atoms. Like I'm gonna see what fonts are we gonna use. Let's say if we're doing a redesign, are we changing the font? Then what's gonna be our button? What's gonna be our choral scheme? Primary, secondary button. So there's a lot of atoms that we will actually combine into the perfect, let's say, UI. Because there are some common mistakes that we're avoiding, trying to avoid, and we're successfully avoiding. But yeah, why is heading bigger than a paragraph? What's going to be the amount of pixels that I'm going to, let's say, if the heading is 32, is it going to be enough if the paragraph is 16? Then how long is it going to be, or is paragraph going to have to be? Or some details that when you look at a design, probably in your department, you don't think about that much. But yeah, like position of every element, and actually, this is the part I try to prepare. Like there are some laws that I like keep mixing up their names, but I usually refer back to them from a book that I was reading like a couple of years ago, or probably last year. There are some UX laws that you use, and they're like pretty simple sentences that will explain you how user is going to behave. So for example, Jacob's law, or it doesn't even have to be important. What's the name of the law? Uh, People use web and digital products that are similar. Like you're a daily user, you open app, you know where you are going to expect the navigation. There are some things that are like that. I mean, it is how it is, and you can change it, but you're making huge risk. Like, imagine you open a website and I put navigation on the bottom. I may scare you away.
Yeah.
So there are some things that let's say assumption or theory that you're using the web just as I'm using the web. So there are some things that we're just doing because they're done in a certain way, and we don't want to create anxiety by the small details. Like the most I remember when I open a website and I don't see navigation doesn't load. I'm like, okay, I'm just leaving. Maybe it is because I'm a designer, I design websites, so maybe it's my personal deformation because I'm aware that my eyes are different than regular people's eyes. I just always observe things in a different way, or at least I think so. But yeah, so that's one part, the one law. So that then there is law of proximity. How do we group elements, small elements, big elements? If they are close, you will, even if you don't look at them, you will observe them as a group. And then what's the amount of proximity we want to use? So we have a white space. So there's like a ton of stuff that we just want to follow. And of course, that doesn't stop us from being creative. Just small details. I use that like a checkbook to avoid mistakes. When you learn that, when you use specific metric system, when you just try to do consistent designs. But yeah, the full product. Uh, I mean, you guys from marketing sector and from SEO or copywriting, the focus on nine friction explains the psychology, or and the behavior and what we want to serve to the user. How do we make sure they can find everything they need? Like we do our best, and then there's totally different part of the story when I need to take that text. Uh, Actually need to convert it to actual design that someone's going to develop and someone's going to use. So it's not just, as you said, beautiful design. Actually, today, most of junior designers can design pretty beautiful UI.
Yeah.
I can do it. I can just open something, copy something, uh, whatever. There's a ton of inspiration. Like today, you can learn to design, you can learn to use a tool, but how you scale it, how you hand it over to developers. Like it's a full product. And if you make a mistake, the only one who's gonna suffer or who's gonna have a problem because of that is end user and the client. So it really matters how you do it. It really matters that you understand the problem. Uh, so there are, as I said, a few key things that I'm trying to follow and avoid mistakes. But also then there is totally different side of the project that we actually have a goal and we know what will make the client happy. We know what will push their business one step forward. So then we just need to find a way by following all the rules. How do we do it? So there is not answer like, yeah, you need to do this because different amount of text. You know, sometimes client doesn't even have testimonials, even though they do a good work. They were never aware that the testimonials are something that they need. So yeah, they have testimonials, but their imagery is not that good. So there's a lot of factors. It's not one simple answer, but yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, so it's like you were saying, designers have to remember that, even though they're doing something creative, they're not like artists really. They have to keep those rules you mentioned in mind so they don't scare away or confuse the users. So once you've decided how you're going to like follow those rules, like put the navigation at the top, put like, the hero section, make it the first section, probably put like the whatever links to like the terms and privacy policy and maybe like the contact info at the bottom. Once you've figured out how you're going to follow those rules and you're like looking at how to lay out the page, so when you're talking about like the most important parts of the page, like maybe the hero section and the call to action section and stuff, how do you like make sure that those really important parts like grab the user's attention?
Yeah, well, first you need to, uh, let's say, if you accept that user is gonna probably on average, I don't have exact data, but 20 or 30 seconds they're gonna spend on your website, or maybe that's even too much. So yeah, of course, hero section is the most important. So what do we do there? Uh, Usually, I would discuss with you, or you would usually send me the strategy and the whole copy. Then we discuss the length of the H1. It really depends. What font style is the client using? What's their brand? How is it gonna fit? Is it readable? If it is serif font or sans serif font, not every font is gonna work. Like if it's 5 words or 16 words. So we really need to pay attention on every detail. But yeah, of course, we're gonna make sure, okay, hero section. So what problem do we solve? For who do we solve it? The key message and something that's like first impact, like that's not, but actually it is the most important. Loading speed.
Mm.
When we design a page, when we talk to the devs, we need to make sure we're not creating chaos, like a ton of functionality that's useless, and then you never even join our website. So we did everything for nothing. Actually, we create a bigger problem than we solved the problem. So yeah, hero section is the most important. You need to load it fast. You need to, and of course, what's the most important? You're not supposed to get frightened from amount of information. I know people are like, yeah, add this one, add this one, add this one. Like, let's include everything. Well, then we would never have a website. You would just have like everything on the same section. But yeah, now you need to split the content. You need to guide the user, and you always need to make sure whenever user ends up. I know top of the page is usually, I mean, not usually, it's more visited. I mean, when you observe the heat maps, you always see like user attention is they land and then they go down and they either go somewhere or just leave your website. So you need to create strong sections on the top. But if you're just like, yeah, we just need a few first couple of sections, if you have a user that's down below on your website, then that's probably someone who is a bit more interested. So now you need to fascinate him even more. So the quality should be the same, but you actually need to make sure that the heavy text, a lot of information, it shouldn't be on top. Like on top is something like where we grab your attention. You came here to solve a problem, and we offer a service that will solve you a problem. But if we just write a bunch of text, you will never even realize how good we are for your problem. So yeah, we need to don't be that aggressive. Like what I usually like to say when we're discussing, open 20 websites, see what you like. Remember what was your previous good experience when you were shopping online, or so I usually go back to IKEA when I'm doing shopping with IKEA. It's like, for me, especially because it's my work, I mean, it's every part of the process, even when I finish, when they say like delivery is every time, like when they say it's going to be Saturday 9 o'clock, it's going to be Saturday 9 o'clock. Day before, they sent me an email, prepare your room, because I was ordering a bed for guest room. It was like, uh, tomorrow you're going to have a delivery, prepare your room, like remove unnecessary stuff from your room because tomorrow you're going to receive a bed. So I was like, yeah, they actually reminded me. So I remember something like this, and I was like, wow, that's some small detail. Good website can give you leads, but for whole business, like you need to actually provide great service. So there's like everything involved.
Yeah. So once you've provided the most important information and grabbed the user's attention, then we'll move on to how you can actually try to influence them to um, to convert, to book an appointment or purchase something. So say we have like a hero section with like a really bold, colorful image, big, colorful headlines, and we've grabbed the user's attention. Now, how can we start to like now that we've grabbed their attention and give them like the most important information, like where do we go from there, right? Like in the say the module right below the hero section, how would we start to influence them to make a conversion, to book an appointment, to purchase something after we've already grabbed their attention?
Okay, well, we need to show like a lot more value than just we grab their attention. Now here comes the second section. So you're gonna have to see why are we the best fit for you? Because usually if you're trying to get a service, most of the times you're not just having our website open. You open probably two or three more competitors. So, okay, if our first part of the website is just caught your attention, then you're in the second section, then we're going to show some value. Something like if it is a service, okay, probably you're going to have to see, is our solution complete? Like, okay, this is our solution, but you really need to know a bit more details. Like, okay, uh, money back guarantee or whatever. It doesn't have to be that, but is your solution a complete solution? Is it going to work for me? Did you help? So now, not all of the stuff gonna say is gonna be in the same section, but we will rearrange or we will see what's the best order for that. But yeah, is there any similar people that you helped? Like if I'm a business and then I see you help the business that I'm familiar with or the industry I'm familiar with, then I'm probably gonna go and read their case study and then I will go even deeper. I'm gonna see their website. Then I'm gonna see their social media. So I'm gonna see if they're real people. If their success is real, then I'm gonna go back to the website and see even more case studies. Then I'm gonna go and see some more testimonials. So yeah, you need to prove what you said in the beginning of your website, but you're not gonna do it in one section. And it's not it's a purchase decision like usually if it's something big like you're selling software or service that's not that cheap, you're not gonna make a decision in 20 seconds. Ooh, good hero section. Ooh, nice second module. Okay, connect your card, 100K. Well, it's a process. So you need to touch on all the nine frictions. You need to show even more. Like every client has different story. So even nine frictions are unique for each one of them. It's not like we're robotic following the process or something like that, but it's a foundation. And then you build up on top of it. So yeah, I probably forgot to mention a lot of stuff, but you're gonna always have about page. You're always gonna wanna be clear about your pricing. Like Instagram pages, like it was here at my place, it was like a joke. When you ask for price, they're like, okay, send me in the inbox. Like, why? Are you selling something? If you're posting something, why don't you just write in the description like price, like typical e-commerce website? I know e-commerce and Instagram, they're not the same. It's totally different experience, but it pisses me off when I need to do one more step.
Yeah.
So when we do want to create designs, we want to make a perfect balance so you don't have to look for every information. So yeah, that's why you create a sitemap. That's why even before you start, you're gonna have to think about like million of things. Even let's say we're creating a website, but that website has 10 pages. We need to see if we will need 10 pages, maybe we need seven, maybe we need 25. So how are we gonna structure the menu, the navigation? How is it gonna work on mobile? We want to make sure like if you want to find something it's easy for you to do it. We want to avoid that you have any questions like you don't have to think about like, oh, where is the form. It should be easy. Open navigation, contact us, or you will see a button that's going to say contact us. Or so some of those things are also important when you're building the whole structure because people will get back to your website. They will come for more information. They will probably pause today, continue tomorrow. So we are not designing, developing, or writing content or creating websites for just like one visit, and then you go and buy it. Usually people take a lot more time. Then we will always have something to offer to them that will help them and move them towards the goal or sign up, contact us, buy a product or something like that.
Right. So it's like you were saying. We got to take well all the nine frictions into account. You can't always touch upon all the nine frictions in the design, especially if you're just talking about like say you're just talking about the home page. But I think a lot of times there are, in my opinion, there are some of the frictions that are like more important than others, and there's kind of like a usual flow through a page. Like a lot of times as you were saying, we'll have the hero section, and then the module below that will be focused on, the product performance, how the service or product completely solves um, people's problems, provides a complete solution, and then like generally below that we'll start to like we might have a small module that shows like the logos of some similar clients. So I think you got to have product performance module. You got to have at least one, probably two, like similar clients modules, in my opinion. Like maybe one that shows logos and one that shows testimonials. And also, it's really important, if possible. A lot of clients are very resistant to this, but if possible, I think um, you should also have like a module, like probably near the bottom, um, close to the CTA module, that gives people like either the price or at least like an idea of what the price is. So I guess I was wondering, that layout that I have in my head, where it's like hero module, product performance module, similar clients module that has the logos, and then maybe some more stuff about specifically the solutions, and then a testimonial module, and then like a price module, and then like a CTA module. Um, so if you can picture that layout in your head, do you think that would be a good layout as far as like guiding people through the page and overcoming their frictions and stuff?
Yeah, well, since we are talking about the imaginary client and imaginary problem, yeah, I guess so. But in reality, you always have to balance like client's wishes, what you think is good for customer, client. Uh, so in reality, it's gonna really be like it really depends of there are some brands or some industry that will highly benefit of big images. Like we never now mentioned images. So if you're doing renovations, you're a big company doing renovations, we really want to show your work. You don't even have to write a case study. You can, ideally, but even super big pictures with small quotes, quote from owner, or real people are behind this business, and these are real results. Uh, that can also be beneficial for the whole storytelling. I mean, but yeah, what you mentioned are the sections we would never like to go without. And then sometimes you're gonna add more. You're gonna add blog post in the footer. You're gonna maybe add news before the footer, newsletter. Uh, like there is a lot of stuff you're gonna add on top of that. But yeah, this is something like we shouldn't left out. The things you mentioned. Maybe you want to go and say something a bit more about us. That's not usually part of Nine Frictions because it's not directly connected with your buying cycle, but it's something that's going to be helpful. It's a module that can probably navigate you to the About Us page where you probably can show one more friction in the whole About Us page. Or we will maybe, if we have services, we're going to show a couple of services. We don't have to show you pricing here, but then you're going to go to another page where we can probably dive deeper in pricing or price ranges. So we don't have to show here, but then we need to have a plan to guide you from here to somewhere else. But it's important if we're going to talk about pricing, if you really don't want to show the pricing, then let's have it at least make it easy for the user that they can ask you a question about the price or set up a call with your agent or with your team member. So it's not a dead end. You never want to see a dead end. Especially imagine you have person that's actually interested, and I bet it happened to all of us. You really want something, but experience is impossible. Like you want to order something, their website is not working. You are adding things to the cart, uh, it's not working or whatever. There's a ton of examples, but that's how you lose money.
Exactly. We always got to keep the user journey and the user experience in mind. You can't really just pop in one module because you think it'll look good, or pop in one module just because you think the information should be there on the page. You have to keep the user flow and the user experience in mind. And as you were saying, you really have to test, because like you can have a good idea of what the user experience will be like, just based on your experience and your education and stuff. But you really have to test whether you're running like a B test with thousands of people or just showing like a few, people who don't work as designers, um, so you can get their feedback. So I think that's one of the biggest tips we can give to people watching the podcast if they're working on their design, is even if they think it looks great, make sure they test it, right?
Yeah. Cheapest way of testing it, ask for feedback of people that are close to you. So you don't have to run like groups that you're interviewing people, record people. You can just ask a friend, then see ask someone that you think is going to be the user, someone who's going to use your website or product. You can get some advice. Then you can check out who is successful in industry and why. You can find connection. You can open websites. You can see, okay, this is the way I was learning. Then I design something, then I go and see, like, okay, this is the way people do it. And then I see some other websites that are not doing it. So then you realize there are no rules. There are rules, but every situation is different. So you shouldn't blindly be like, okay, Apple does it this way. We're gonna do the Apple way for every customer, every industry, every budget, everything. No, you need to really understand who are you talking to, and then you solved most of your problems actually.
Yeah, exactly. So that's probably the single most important tip we can give people. But so if you're going to give a few more just like quick simple tips for people who are trying to design their own sites, as far as how they could have a good user flow, like what are a few easy little tricks that they could do?
Well, if you're gonna start, you just first what people usually do. Now I'm just talking about my mistakes like from 10 years ago. You just want to start everything. You want to start everything now. You want to finish everything yesterday. It's just because you want to build your own website. But you need first you need to hold. You need to think. You need to plan. By doing that, it's not just about saving the time. Like yeah, you if you plan today, you're gonna save more time, maybe avoid mistakes. Yes, but you really need to make a plan because you need to know what are you doing. It's easy. I can just set up WordPress, buy a theme. You know how people are. But yeah, what then? But it's like everyone can do it. It's not like everyone can do it. There is a million of factors. But if you're gonna do it alone, then you should try to make a plan. What is your goal? Like why are you doing it? Who's gonna use it? Okay, competitors. You need to do super basic competitor research. International, local competitors, global competitors. What do they have? Okay, they have product photography that's high quality. Okay, then you should probably get high quality product photography. I mean, those are the basics, but you need to probably find the connection between your industry. It's not what you like that's gonna create like some leverage, and then you're gonna yeah, I like this, and then I'm gonna create like great website based of just what I like. You're not creating it like the first most important tip, you're not creating it for yourself. You're creating a website that's gonna serve your business, that's gonna be your business, but it's not for you. And then if you try to just skip that barrier, and then you're gonna be like, okay. So we're just putting my wishes on the other side. Now I'm gonna see how others do it. You never copy others, but you need to realize what your users are using. So your user, if I am, let's say, basketball coach, then I'm gonna go and see what are the other basketball coaches because my future students probably visited some of their websites. Then I'm gonna things that I'm talking about are cheap, but can bring more value, a lot of value. Then you pick up few people, then ask them, what do you think about this? Then you get actual real feedback that someone pays for that feedback. You can get it for free. And then of course there is a ton of stuff, rules. But if you're not an expert, just probably a couple of tips. Learn for who you're designing, remove the barriers or whatever, like remove your ego. You're not gonna just design the best website just because of you like it. You will if you're like top 1% designers in the world and you know what you're doing, but there is a lot of factors. So of course, second advice would be you don't have to put everything in one section. You don't have to tell the whole story in one section. The whole website experience is a journey, so take it easy. And there's a lot of stuff you can read. So all of the things I said, that's the part when I say you want to start now, but you need to hold, make a pause, take a deep breath, and then take a couple of days, a couple of weeks, a couple of months, do some planning, and then you're gonna create a better product for sure.
Yeah, so people following this design advice, these tips, they can probably create like, a decent website that looks okay, and if they're trying to get leads, they'll probably get some leads. But of course, when you're talking about like businesses that are, you know, live and die based on how many leads and conversions they get, they're spending a lot of money on this. Um, at that point, it's definitely worth it to hire experts like us, like JMarketing, and have someone like you who has like a lot of experience and a really deep understanding of the consumer psychology, to maximize their profits. Because I mean, the difference between having like a decent, say, e-commerce website and having a really good one is, I mean, can be millions and millions of dollars. So it's
Yeah,
more than worth it to hire an agency if you're serious about making money. Like if you're just creating like a little website for yourself, then you can probably just follow some of the advice that you just gave and do a good job. But if you have like, a serious business, it's definitely worth it to hire J
yeah,
Marketing. Yeah, for
I
sure.
agree. Starting from a point that if I need a website today, I can create one web. I can design it, I can build it. I I need help. I need expert in marketing. I need expert in SEO. Even if I am from the industry, uh, I could do a decent job or okay job by myself. But this is not. What about data security? What about backups? What about like there is million. If we are okay now promoting the completeness of solution, of course, agency will offer you. Uh, Okay, you have a team that's working on that for the past 10 years. So you already know what's gonna work, what's not gonna work. At least you're closer to like no, you can never know, but you're getting closer because you did it so many times. Then you can say, aha, this page performed really well. Why? It was 2 years ago. This was the page. Let's see. Let's understand. Then you can use similar stuff for future clients. If you know the industry, you already did the research. Now you do one more research, but you're not expert for the industry, but you're familiar with the industry. Then you're familiar with the what what I need to create for you, like a website. Okay, if I'm gonna do it by myself, yeah, as I said, SEO. I can design good website, but if I don't do SEO, who's gonna be on your website?
Yeah.
Maybe if I'm sending you in my email, like, hey, here's my website. But then how you create SEO, uh, you needed to have a strategy before. What is the approach there? It's not like, hey, bro, create me an SEO. Sure. Uh, it should all start before. And then if agency is gonna do it, all of us, we really know what's gonna happen. Like, here is new website. Then we know our process. We know that we're gonna have to think about. Like, because our goal is not just to do a website for you. If we do a good website for you and we do a good job for you, then we're gonna become long-term partners. So if we help you grow, you will help us grow. So like the big effort and the complete commitment by the people that have more experience than you, if you're gonna do it by yourself or internal team, uh, I mean, it's just my opinion. Let's say it like that.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree though, because having experts with a lot of experience, even if you're just talking about web design, will help a lot. But as you were saying, there's more that goes into having a successful website than web design. You got to have good SEO, so you actually have people coming to your website. You have to have like all the analytics stuff set up. So we were talking about testing web design. Well, you need the analytics stuff set up so you can know like which version is performing better. Of course, you're probably going to want to have some like Google ads to send like paid traffic to your website. And at JMarketing, we actually offer a full, complete $995 digital audit where we'll look through every aspect of your marketing from web design, SEO, you know, analytics, Google ads, etc., and analyze it, give you important, actionable feedback, and tell you what next steps you can take to really skyrocket your leads and your conversions. So just reach out to us, and we can get started on that process.
Yeah, I agree. How do you say it? However you think your website is good, a pair of fresh eyes, like you created something, then you're maybe not even aware is it good or bad. If you're having a decent performance, you're maybe happy with it, but maybe you can have more than decent performance. So you never know.
Exactly, especially when you're talking about, you know, experts rather than just asking someone does this look good or not, but you have like an expert analysis that will, you know, just help you a lot. Okay, I think that's the podcast done. So thanks
Okay,
for joining me and talking with me today, Nick. Appreciate your time.
you're welcome. Hope we will do it a couple more times.
Yeah, I
I
think
do have a
we
lot more
probably
to
will.
say, so
Yeah, well, there are a couple more design topics that we want to talk about, so we can definitely have you on the podcast again.